If you feel like you're an upper body swinger, using brute force, using effort to try and hit the golf ball, and you watch all these videos about how to use the ground reaction forces to sequence the golf swing, but feel like you can never really achieve it because that hit, that physical effort is always there and it feels tensioned and the swing feels kind of restricted, limited, and it doesn't really feel like a free-flowing swing. Well, we've got to look at tension. We've got to look at how we can use the club head in the most efficient way. And when we do this, we give ourselves an opportunity to use the rest of the body and to use the ground. We can use our feet, we can use our legs, because they're not being overridden by the dominant action of the upper body. The initiation back and down and through with the upper body just gives us no chance whatsoever to really use the ground to generate those forces first that we can react to with the body. We've got to take the inertia off. So I'm just going to go through some simple exercises that you can do to actually start feeling this. And if you're a golfer who always struggles maybe closing the face as well, playing that natural draw, this can also help you, because when we start to remove the tension, when we start to use our joints in a more sequenced, more fluid, a more free action starts to evolve, and we can really use that sequencing, we can start to trust our timing. So the action becomes more about timing, just like every other sport. It's all about timing. We don't have to be the biggest, we don't have to be the strongest. But once we start to use our body efficiently, once we start to time it, and once we hit that sweet spot and get that maximum energy transfer to the ball from our sweetly timed action, we get those really noticeable changes in results. We start to hit the ball further. We start to see the ball fly effortlessly and wonder how we did it. We want that feeling more and more. We want it every time. Well, let's start with these exercises, because the first thing we've got to do is swing the club head. What's it like to swing the club head? Well, let's work our way back from the club. What's influencing the club the most? Well, it's the wrists. So, first of all, take your grip and make some circles with the club. Because what I find day in, day out is that there's a blind spot in terms of awareness of our movement potential with the club. When we pick the club up, often we're reacting to how we think we should swing the club. There's a preconception of how we should swing. I don't often see the true you when I see you with a club in your hand. But if I threw you a ball, if I kicked you a ball and expected you to kick it back, if you were going to kick a ball back to me, or with a racket in your hand, hit a ball, no matter whether you're skilled or not, I'd see the true version of you, the authentic version, the instinctive, reactive version of you. That, look, it might not be perfect, but I'd see movement just organised in the moment, subconsciously. And yes, I understand and I realise and I agree, it's a reactionary sport that I'm talking about there. I'm talking about a dynamic action, open loop. You are reacting to something. We've got to make this sport open loop. We've got to start reacting. And we can react. But first, we've got to take the inertia off the system. We've got to let the body react. We've got to allow ourselves to move. So let's start with the wrists. Let's move this golf club, and let's actually start to develop a relationship with this. An affinity whereby we can explore our movement acuity and develop it. Because we have the ability to move in a very precise, a very efficient, a very stylish way with the golf club. And we want to tap into that. So making those circles and then changing the direction. And then moving from side to side. So we've got an extension of the lead wrist and a flexion here. We've got this horizontal action. We've got an up and down action, so let's go up and down. And we've got a twisting action. Okay? And when we blend all that together, we can start to move the club around in a circle. And we can open it, so we can feel an open face, and we can close it. As it's travelling down and through what would be impact here, we can close it. So just allow yourself to just feel that circle. So you've actually got an opening and a closing club face now. So you can actually feel that closing action. And it's quite a significant swing, this. Already, without much body action. We're not having to heave the club around using the body unnecessarily. Using the shoulders for what should be a job for the wrist and the elbow. And having to use the shoulder to move the arm around in space and the club. I see this so often where the arm's doing all the work, the shoulders, the chest, to move the club. You think this was a 10-ton weight that someone's trying to lift when it could be so easily swung. So now taking it into your lead hand. And all I want you to do is with your trail hand on the upper arm is I just want you to swing the club back and forth and just let that elbow flex. So you're whipping the club back and whipping it through, and the club is opening and it's closing. And don't try and hold the club still. You might square and rigid, try and control it as if you daren't swing this club and let it swing freely because of the kind of apprehension that if I do this in a golf swing, I might not be able to control the shot. So I can't possibly ever let myself just swing this freely and let go. But you can. Because letting this club swing freely invites the body to move, gives us an opportunity to use the body to create a pivot action. And what might be a freewheeling kind of, if I don't use the body, it might look like this kind of flip and roll that everyone tries to avoid because everyone's trying to hit the ball with shaft lean and do it in a contrived, deliberate, tensioned way. When actually, if we let this thing go, it allows the body to pivot, it allows it to rotate. And if we rotate our body, we start to see a very different reaction with the golf club. Because if this golf club's trailing you and you use the body as a pivot and rotate, this thing continues to trail. And then through impact, you're going to see a very different look. That's because the arms are in a very reactive state to enable us to make a very free swinging motion, which enables us to feel the club head. The body starts to sense where the club head is. We're amplifying the senses and the awareness ramps up of where we are in space and we start to use the body. It's intuitive. We're used to moving. We are born movers. We've got to allow ourselves to move without such heavy constraints that we place on ourselves. All these conditions that don't give us any chance to breathe, to actually freely move. Yet as soon as you put the club down and you walk around, no conditions, free to move, free to react. It's like freedom. And that's the authentic you. So let's tap into that person. So now we're going to go trail arm. So lead hand on the upper arm, keep it close to the body. This is not to say you have to do this in a golf swing. We're not trying to stay connected and just freewheel the elbows like this and rotate the forearms. Don't take this explicitly. This is not a method. This is just an exercise where we are exploring the body's capability. We are profiling our movement so we can recognize what is available. Because we're going to introduce the shoulders in a minute. So here, back and forth. Just let that club swing. This might be a whole new feeling of letting the forearm actually rotate and the elbow bend. Just let it flex and then just let it all extend and let the hand pronate, i.e. rotate down and then rotate back and up, forearm and hand up on the way back. So you can see the club opening and closing. You can feel what it's like with the wrist and the elbow. Then you can take the hand away and now let the arm swing freely from the shoulder. So now this is giving us freedom with the swinging action. It's giving the arm more freedom to extend the swing. So here we've got a free swinging action, but it's restricted, of course. I'm holding my upper arm to my body. We don't want this. We don't want the towel under the arms, this kind of tensioned connection. We don't want that. We just want this to swing freely and then let it go. Change hands, put it back in the lead. Keep that upper arm close to the rib cage. Just hold it there with the trail hand. Feel that rotation and now take it away and let the arm swing. Let the shoulders move. Let the rib cage rotate. Let the upper torso rotate. Start to lengthen the swing. Feel the arc. We've got an upcoming golf school. It's in October and it's at West Herts Golf Club. It's a 3-day golf school. Normally 2 days. This is an extended golf school. 3 days on the 14th, 15th and 16th of October. Only 6 places. Follow the link in the description and we look forward to seeing you with us. Now bring both hands in. You can see my feet are pretty close together. Just make a few swings back and forth and you can see it's just predominantly an arm swing at the moment. Now start to take a slightly wider stance and start to rotate the torso to make the action a little bit bigger. Now we need to use the body. You might find this has started to change the feel of the swing. It's not so free anymore because you're introducing the body and the body movement is the issue. Go into more rotation now. How does it feel? Can you maintain that free swinging action or is it starting to feel a little bit tensioned? A little bit difficult. The body's not really now complying in terms of encouraging this free-flowing action. There's some conflict somewhere where we're starting to feel a little bit of, restriction. Well, let's remove that. Let's put the club down. Let's start with our feet very close together. Arms by your side, nice and relaxed. I want you to make some shoulder circles here. So shrug the shoulders up and just roll them back. So you're just making some circles. Notice the arms are moving free. So I'm not using my arms to pull and push, using the shoulders. Okay, remove that tension from the neck, the shoulders, between the shoulder blades. Feel those shoulder blades. Want to feel those scapulae just glide. And what we're going to do now is we're going to rotate. So with the feet close together, I want you to just twist your body and let your arms just swing freely. And just let the arms slap against your stomach and let that arm that's swinging behind you, just let the arm swing freely, let the elbow bend, let the arm slap against your back. So now, it's the rotation of the body that's throwing the arms out. Just like at the fun fair with the carousel, the flying chairs, that pivot in the middle of the axis is rotating and it throws the chairs out. And whilst ever that axis is rotating at speed, the chairs are following and the chain between the axis and the chairs is tensioned. And that maintains, if you like, a very smooth, stable arc around the axis. This could be your club head around your body. The arms, the chains. These are, in a golf swing, tensioning, but only tensioning because of the pivot forces you're creating and the weight of the club head. So now you're using the body in an efficient way to transfer speed, hopefully from the ground, we're going to talk about that in a minute, through the arms, which are very loose and responsive, just not tensioned, not trying to control the golf club, trying to move it in space in a deliberate way. No, that's just going to interfere with this fluid transfer of energy. So we're creating this momentum. We've got to let it transfer through the body, outwardly, through the arms to the club. So the arms need to be relaxed. And they're just going to naturally get thrown off the body, and that's how they straighten. That's how they extend. Not by you holding them with tension and trying to keep a straight lead arm. that's not going to allow you to really use your pivot. As soon as you hold this, try to move it, that inertia starts to affect the efficiency of the pivot. The pivot really now can't action the same way. It's restricted. It slows it down. We've got to let this thing speed up and accelerate naturally. So just feel how the arms get thrown off the body, back and through. When you're doing this, I want you to feel it through the feet now. Feel how you're twisting from the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, the torso. Notice how it starts from the ground. Unwind from the ground, up, through the body. The final piece of this sequence is the shoulders and the arms and the hands. Can you feel how the end of the chain, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, they come last, both ways. This action here is so early. We're creating torque from the ground and we're transferring it through the body, and we can sense the timing of it. We can sense the journey that we're creating. Now let's take a golf club in our hands and let's have a swing, twisting from the ankles, knees, hips. And just let that golf club swing freely. Start to build it up. Just throwing it back. And then allowing yourself to unwind from the ground up to throw it through. When I say through, let the club swing down, round and out. It's going to come back round and up, and let it go over the shoulder now. Let it go over the shoulder on the final one. So you're building it up. And then you're going to go for the big one. So you're building it up. 3, 4, 5 swings, feeling it with the ankles, knees, hips, torso, shoulders, arms, wrists, everything's going freely. And then let's go for the final crescendo over the shoulder on the follow through into a finish. Notice where it takes you. This might feel different because this rotation that you're creating about your ankles now, the feet, they're having to get involved, pronating and supinating, which is helping us rotate our body, moving our hips to move the pelvis. We can start to let the lower body play its role. Now let's follow through and just take the tension out of the finish. So I just want you to just make a few easy swings and just build it up, and now let yourself go comfortably into a finish. And now I just want you to let the club rest on the shoulder, almost like a seesaw. Let your shoulder take the weight of the club and just feel the weight of the club head. And notice how my arms are going down and up. Here, I'm not, it's not under tension, it's very soft. Could do this with my thumb and forefinger if I needed to. It's very relaxed. And just let the club slide now down the chest and just let it drop. Just feel the weight of the golf club. How often do you see a golf pro on TV? When you watch these tour players on television making a full-blooded follow-through with a driver, you'll see the club recoil, you'll see the arms drop and the club fall. They are so used to being relaxed with the golf club, using the swing weight. It's just second nature. They are so comfortable moving the club. If you play with a good player who's skilled and high ability, maybe very low handicap, they'll just move the club around the body in a very comfortable way. There's no fear. There's no apprehension of where the club is, what it might do, whether they'll hit themselves. So comfortable with the golf club in their personal space, in any form of movement here. Any orientation here of movement, any pattern, twirling the club with the trail, twirling the club with the lead, swinging it around. They will just look comfortable. They will just be able to move the club and they know where it is. So do you. Your body knows where this is without looking at it. Trust your instincts. Get used to swinging this club around your body. Even at home, just familiarise yourself with your golf club and swing. Just twirling the club with both hands. Getting used to the feel of the club. This should become an extension of you. This is part of your anatomy. So we've got to train it like that. We've got to experience swinging the golf club as if it were just an extension of the body, another part of the body, without any anxiety about how we're moving. If it's right, if it's wrong, is it where's the golf club? Is it in the right place? Am I moving in the right way? We don't second guess our movement. It's unconditional. We just allow ourselves to react, but we have intention. The golf shot's going to be the intention, and a recognition of how we move. That awareness will develop, so you can just allow yourself to respond intuitively to your intention with action. But we've got to recognize all these moving parts to a much finer degree. This is a high-level motor skill, very fine motor skill. We've got to feel this. Every degree counts. We've got to allow ourselves to explore all these movement ranges and attune ourselves to this variability. And the club head, the orientation of this, is what it's all about. That's what's playing the golf shot. Where that's pointing, where it's swinging, that's playing your golf shot. We've got to attune our senses to it. So we've got to feel it. So we've got to swing the most, not totally tension-free, and trying to, again, artificially create a less tension swing, a free swing, by relaxing the grip pressure unnecessarily so it's so loose. Then we lose control and we move in a very kind of loose and unstable way. No, we've got to move in an efficient way. We've got to let this golf club swing. We've got to feel the weight of it. So let the golf club fall. Don't throw it out. Don't use your arms to tension it. Just let gravity play its role. Let your arms fall. If I was to let go of the golf club with my arms here and just let them drop, they drop that way. Look where the elbow goes, down and in towards me, and the arm just extends, look. But with a golf club in my hand, it can't get to that place. But it can go there. That's as far as it can go, really, until I let go of the club and my hand would be down here. But I've got the club in my hand, so it's going to fall. Now I can feel the weight. Make a swing. Let it fall back in front of you. Feel the weight. Feel the elasticity of your movement. That recoil. Back down and forward. It's just an exercise. I'm not suggesting you have to do this in your golf swing, although you find many of the players, when you watch them on TV, do it without realising when they're letting go. Of course, there'll be players who make shorter follow-throughs than maybe with an iron or something like that, where they're controlling the golf ball, manipulating the flight. They've got a signature style movement maybe that they've done since they were a kid. But often when you put the driver in the hand, you see the full freewheeling, uninhibited. The brakes are off and they just let it go. And you see the whole thing in a very freewheeling action. And you see it in its truest form. So when you're taking a few shots now, where does this motion come from? Well, we know it's coming from the ground, not the upper body. So you can differentiate now between what this feels like and what it feels like to use the lower body first and then throw the arms from the upper body, off the upper body, because of the pivot forces you're creating. Then bring the club in, start to feel how that feels with a half or three-quarter swing, and then build it up into a finish where it throws it over the shoulder, lets it fall. These are the fundamentals in terms of recognizing fluidity of motion with our joints, letting all the joints move in a coordinated, sequenced, fluid way. So you start to let the swing dynamics take over now, because the force is there from the ground. We've got to let it go. If we want a freewheeling release, we've got to be prepared to let the follow-through freewheel. okay? Because the ball is not the end of your golf swing. It's the middle. You're going to be striking this golf ball whilst your body is way ahead of the action. It's way ahead. That pivot's already gone, and this is trailing. So you might even feel like you kind of side onto the golf ball as you're striking it, as opposed to being face on. And then you can let this thing take over you and then fall into the finish. So let's have a couple of swings, just feeling that, throwing it back and just letting yourself freewheel it into a finish. I could feel tension in that one straight away. Got to let that follow through go. There we go. Better. Still a little bit of intent to hit. I could feel the effort, the force there. Got to let that swing just flow. Got to wait. That was better. That was better. And again. That's better. Starting to get into it. Just a few shots, just to ease yourself into the motion, just to start letting go. Can start to feel where I'm putting the effort in. I need to freewheel this to the finish. I need to focus on that finish. There. And straight away, I can feel myself just letting the body go, finding the finish at the end without even thinking about it. It's just like throwing. Not that the golf swing's throwing, by the way, I'm just talking about a kinetic chain and just letting go. Don't think about it, but the body stabilizes itself. The mechanics are already there. We've just got to let ourselves access them, recruit them naturally by giving ourselves an opportunity to use them, by giving ourselves that journey, or allowing ourselves at least to action that journey by committing to a finish and just letting the thing go. This isn't the finished article by any stretch. This is just putting the foundations in place, fundamentals of movement, allowing you to access that movement vocabulary, recognize it, and allow yourself to use it in a freewheeling way, understanding how to use it in a freewheeling way. And that's the start of accessing your true potential. The movement that's there when you throw a ball, kick a ball, hit something, throw something, drive your car. Movement is there. You are not even thinking about it. You're just responding to intention. And you're responding with a skill set that you've developed. The toolkit is the movement vocabulary, and you've allowed yourself to develop a skill set around that, which is creating a level of ability, competency that you trust, gives you an ability then to have confidence and have your attention elsewhere. You can focus somewhere else and be confident in making the movement that's achieving the objective, that's taking you there, whether it's walking, whether it's driving your car, whatever it is. Let's tap into these processes because we've all got these systems. We already possess them. We've got what we need. We've just got to let it out. We've got to let it go. And that's how we're going to access it.